So let's have a look at how to create a fun retro comic master using fantastic original comics from archive.org. What a repository that is. Have a look, you'll be amazed. Now we can use Publisher to do this. So how to begin? Having located a great comic in archive.org, I'll put a link in the description if you like, or in the later slides, and you can download a PDF of the comic you want to use as the master. I went for one I know is done in the standard American comics page size. Standard American comics typically are printed at 6.63 inches by 10.24 inches. That converts to an aspect ratio of 663 to 1024. Well, for the technically minded. Although the exact measurements can vary a little, but that's generally your comic size for the American standard. Now, which original to use? It really doesn't matter. You're after the size and layout, not so much the story, although that's fun too. And you can see there that I've got, 8, 10, 11, 12 or so downloaded comics there, PDF files. And they all appear to be about the same in size and dimensions, and we'll come to that again later. Now I've partially started to rebuild this one, and you can see it's a PDF file, but I've loaded it in to Publisher. Now I'm using version 1.9, the beta, Affinity Publisher beta here, but it's just as easy and the straightforward one. I just happen to be using this one, and maybe by the time you get around to it, version 1.9 will have been released anyway, because it must be getting pretty close now. It's up to build 1.99, so that's pretty close. Now, go to archive.org and use the search, in the search bar, comic and title Forbidden Worlds. And that'll bring up a list of comics such as you can see there. Pages of them actually, and you can see in the column on the left where there's a different number of locations for these things. Let's not get too technical. Let's go through the steps. First, go to archive.org and search for a comic. And you can put that into the search bar that I've got there, the teenyurl.com. That's fairly simple. Just pause the video there, open up your browser and type in that, and it should go to the exact same page you're looking at there. Now in the search bar that comes down on that page, it's just below the first entry to the page, although that one there may even have it in, that link. You enter comic and title Forbidden Worlds and use search text contents in the options below the search bar. You can see them there. Up will come a list of comics and other material as well. It's fairly discriminatory but not exact, but that's fine. So there's other things mixed in with the comics. Select your comic, click on it. Now the site can be a trifle slow, so don't be surprised at that. I selected Unknown in this case. I already have a small list stored. You can see I'm pointing to the word Unknown there, it's the name of the comic. Now after a few moments up comes the front page. You can use the slider bar on the bottom of that page there to flip pages if you like, or you can go an arrow at a time and a page at a time. You'll see there's like 37 pages there. Scroll down the whole web page anyway and look for the download links. You'll see those just below, and there they are. The lower part of the web page where you can select the PDF version and click the download link. Now you'll notice it's got Kindle, full text, EPUB, Daisy and a few other things there. Some of those links work and some don't. But if you're looking for it, if you select the PDF where the arrow is pointing, a little download tab will come up and you can download the PDF. It will generally load into your browser. It's a PDF, so if your browser opens PDFs by default, and it probably does, you'll see it it'll come up in your browser window. Save it as a PDF or export it as a PDF, whatever you like. You need the PDF for Publisher. Now, just a little note down there, excuse me, the Internet Archive does not make guarantees on the copyright status of items on archive.org. So if you plan on putting these comics into a publication and reselling them, be very careful of that one, because they're probably copyright. But there's no reason you can't use them, as we're using them to create what is in effect a simple template. Once downloaded, open the comic in Adobe Reader and check it, just to have a look through it. We're about ready to open it in Affinity Publisher, so let's do that. Selecting the comic I just downloaded, Adventures into the Unknown, number 93. And that's in the, you can see in the download list that comes up. Now, set the DPI. I've gone into settings for the document. It only needs to be 72 DPI. Comics are very grainy at the best of times, and the old 50s comics like this one certainly were. So 72 DPI is fine. Colour space is CMYK. If you plan on having your comics as digital only, you can use 300 DPI and RGB8, but you may have difficulty resizing the document. These are quite odd, not odd documents, but because they're PDFs, you may find that you have some difficulty resizing them later on, which is something we've got to do. Just be aware of that. The comic is loaded and ready for your editing work. We're only going to do a little bit in this video because there are hours of work involved in getting this right, getting the whole thing done. But you can see it's loaded in there. It's got all the pages individually because it's brought in the PDF file quite happily. And there's no master page. Now you can see that the frame is around the page that's open there, and you think, oh, that looks lovely. But that page is in fact quite large. So the first thing we need to do is set up a master page for our comic. Remember, we're using the PDF as a master template, not a comic that we can pass on. So let's make a master page of a suitable size. Single page or facing page? I'm going for single page master for this exercise. I may change later or make a new one or have one of each. It's entirely up to you, but I'm going for single page. Set your document to inches. You can do this to start with. This is US standard to match the comic. So you can see the arrow pointing right in the corner. I've got rulers turned on there, and right click on that in the corner. It's probably in points, PT. If you right click on it, you can actually change it to inches. This sets your entire document to inches. See, right click on the little corner near the rulers. Click on Add Master Tag and note the current measurements. The master is that white page just under the top arrow there, little white page in Master Pages. Click on that and you're going to create a new master page, Master A. And you can see the dimensions there. It's very small on my page at the moment, 16 by 21 I think, which is far bigger than any comic you've picked up in a long time. So set your true US comic standard size in place, 6.63 by 10.24 in portrait mode. Select the Margins tab and set margins to 0.025 inches. You can see the margins page there. Click OK to create a new master page. Now we're going to have to make a few little changes to this later, but that's okay. Your new master page is in place and you can see it there. The next thing to do is go to the Documents and Spread settings and fine tune it, which I just mentioned. See at the top of the page there, just above your new master page, you've got Document Setup and Spread Setup. In Document Setup, set the bleed to 0.025 and check the other settings are right, accurate, haven't changed. Click OK to fix that one. Now select Spread Setup and check that all measurements are OK. Save your document with File Save As and give it an appropriate name. Don't just save it back to what you opened it up as. That's never good practice. Save As, give it a new file name, even if it's just got a space at the end with the word My Comic or something like that, version 1. Now, right-click on the first page now and select Apply Master. Don't select all pages, just that one. So you're going to apply master to page 1. Don't be alarmed at the result. You can see that the page is now vastly larger than the master A page boundaries. Let's consider this for a moment. We're creating a master page of the right size which is being overlaid by a page that's not the right size for what we're doing. And you can see it's spread far into the boundaries there. You can see the blue line going down the centre there through the R and the N. That's the edge of your master page. The document itself is far larger than that, 431 by 21.181 inches. 12 inches, that's 14. That's 1 foot 2 inches wide. That's a big book. Now you can see that the page is now vastly larger than the master A page. At 21 inches, 14.5 by 21 if you round them, that's a good size for editing, but not for a printed comic. And we want the printed comic. So let's adjust the size we're working with for the master page. With the page selected, and you can see in the layers panel there, the page is selected, the highlight page, that front page, and the arrows pointing to the lines, to the margins. You can see we're going to set it to 6.63 by 10.24, standard US comic size. Let's adjust the size. Make sure the image layer is selected first, and the image will now fit neatly into the master. And you can see it there, the image is now neatly on top of the master. You can now proceed to modify all the pages in the document. We've got our settings at the right size. Apply master to all pages. Now you know how to apply a master. You right-click in the document, in the page that you want, and apply master, and when it gives you the options, you select all pages. Now, I haven't found a way to change that image that appears in each page, so you have to change page sizes one at a time. Select the page, tap on it so it's selected in the Layers panel, then change the size. Don't forget to save it all from time to time. Load the page, select the image layer, change page image size to the above, 6.63 by 10.24. You'll get to know that dimension off by heart by the time you're finished. But it's really easy, and in this particular comic there's only 37 pages anyway, so it doesn't take long. When finished, export at 72 dpi to a PDF and set preview on. I've got preview on so that as soon as the PDF is exported, it pops up and you can have a look at it. And there you go, 37 pages, and this exercise is finished. Adventures into the Unknown. Whoa, good comic. These are fantastic stories. I love them. So enjoy. Thanks for watching this fun little exercise.